see how it goes. So.
Okay, so we're just gonna simply talk. I'm already recording now.
Yeah,
Um,
no problem, no problem.
all right,
So this is
so
gonna be it's gonna be video and audio, just to make sure. That's just to know, is it video and audio or just audio?
both, both,
Ah, both. Okay.
yeah, both.
Nice. Okay.
So Tariq, like, uh, how you been? How you been? How you been, lady? And if you want as well, you can introduce yourself a little bit as well.
Yes, my name is in Arabic we say Tariq Harb, or in English Tariq Harb, and I'm originally from Jordan, originally Palestinian. My parents are Palestinian. I was born in Jordan, and after my high school, I moved to Canada to study finance. So I started with business in the beginning, and then after working in business for a while, I decided, you know what, I just want to pursue my love for music, which I had as a kid, and
Ah,
I then decided to just stop my finance job and my finance career and to do full time music.
full-time music.
Yeah,
But what got you in particularly into music? Was it just a spur of the moment?
at the beginning, as a kid, I was as a violinist. You know, I started when I was 6 years old. I started on the violin.
Oh, really? The violin?
Yeah, and then I started listening to rock music and everything, and I was saying like, what am I doing with the violin as a kid? You know, I want guitar. You know, so
Oh,
so my mother bought me a guitar on Christmas. It was my eighth birthday.
on your eighth
So
birthday.
yeah, 8 years old. Yeah, so I started electric guitar playing alone. You know, like learning alone, and that's where the I noticed the passion for music, and I noticed that I was good with my fingers and everything. So that's where it really started. But the professional career, like actually professional mindset to make a career, started later, much later, when I was 25 years old.
Oh, such a much later. Emma, was there like anybody in particular that inspired you, or was it merely your initiative to take on music?
It was mainly my initiative. I had many inspirations. I mean, I loved so many guitarists who were rock guitarists, who were like progressive metal guitarists. People like in the beginning, as a kid, I really liked Slash from Guns N' Roses, and I liked
Oh,
Metallica
I
and
love them.
Soundgarden, and Pearl Jam and all that. I really got into that kind of grunge rock too, and the Seattle bands that came out of Seattle, like Nirvana and was it Soundgarden and Pearl Jam, and there are many others, but yeah, Faith No More. I mean, I was really obsessed with rock and roll, really. And even when I was in my finance here in Montreal, 18 years old, 19 years old, 20 years old, I tried to make a band, you know. And I made a band and we played a little bit, but I was never successful to find people that are as dedicated as I am. So I found myself always the one practicing, and everyone else is just having fun, messing around, so I decided, you know what, this is not working. And I continued with my finance. I finished my finance degree and everything. And then I had a girlfriend at the time who was French, and we were just walking in a music store, So I wanted to show her that I played violin, so I pick up a violin and I play a little bit for her. And she's like, "Oh well, do you know my favorite composer is Niccolo Paganini? Do you know Paganini at all?" I'm like, "I have no idea who that person is. Let me look him up." So she's like, "If you want to get into classical music and violin, if you want to get back to it, you have to really listen to Paganini."
Paganini. Oh my goodness.
Niccolo
Um,
Paganini.
Niccolo Paganini. I have to listen. I have to listen to that. Niccolo Paganini. That's one for the memory bank. Um,
Like he was the first, if you want, the first romantic virtuoso player, the first one to make the music about the performer and not really about anything else. Like in the Baroque, it was to worship God. In the classical, it was always to serve the archbishop or the king or the queen, or there was always a purpose for the music for entertainment purposes. Then in the Romantic period, it was about the emotions of the player themselves or the composer themselves. And Paganini was the first instrumentalist to really tour like a rock star, you know. So he was really the first rock star we ever knew.
Oh, wow. But talking about this, do you have a certain philosophy when it comes to the guitar? Or for example, is there some sort of method that you have?
I first, started with many teachers here and there and self-taught. I read many books. Uh, the one that really resonated with me is just an approach that's called the play relax approach.
The plain relax approach.
Play relax approach.
Can you go deeper?
Yeah, so you play and you equally relax at the same time. So there's an equal relaxation as much as the effort, you know. And
Oh,
I always was like playing and putting a lot of effort, even with the violin, like putting a lot of energy into the instrument. And I was not sure if I was releasing that effort, like relaxing equally on the other spectrum, So that became my motto, if you want. As much as I'm gonna put effort in the note, I'm gonna relax as much after it, you know.
oh wow. I feel like that I have sort of come to grips, or I think discovered that a little bit for myself, because
Fantastic.
throughout in my studies, I've been trying to study these Spanish tunes, flamenco tunes, sort of like
Yes, yes.
the Malagueña, and also Asturias Leyenda. And as I'm practicing, I start to feel that that the best way for most effort is to relax your hand. It's just simply it's just the flowing of relaxing. You don't have to tense it up.
Yes, yes, yes. Especially now, it's both hands also on the body, also. So I started really adopting that approach, and I
Yes.
started kind of finding my own way. And then I found that basically all the masters do that. All the great players have that in their dictionary, so to speak. They are always aware of that thing, which I was not as a kid. I was not, and later I was not. But then it became this natural thing to do, and that's what I was like. Okay, you know what? Like I can really play concerts, travel the world, and do this for real. So I'm gonna, do music. So I started studying, and I quit my finance, and so on and so forth.
Oh, wow. It's just because it's very strange because from my own experience, it was sort of a recumbence of the guitar for me. As a child, my father bought me my first small guitar, and then after I went on to study it. But of course, life happened, and I left it behind.
Yes.
And years later, I was called back. I was called back again to the guitar, just because of just the music, and I just really fell in love again with the Spanish music of the guitar. Do you have a favorite sort of a genre of guitar that you like to play, and particularly on the acoustic?
On the classical guitar, I think my favorite is it's a toss-up between Baroque music and Spanish music.
Baroque music and Spanish.
Baroque music and Spanish music. Yeah, whenever I play Baroque music, I feel like this is the soundtrack of my life. And then and then when I play Spanish music, I'm like, did I write this? You know,
Oh.
it feels so close to me, so natural to play that kind of music. I don't know why. I don't need. I mean, I take advice from everybody. I learn from everybody. But then when I have the score and I sit and I do it, it just kind of it talks to me in a way, tells me what to do. That's
um,
Spanish music.
Oh my goodness, I feel exactly the same way, more towards the Spanish. It's just, in particularly with the Malagueña and Asturias Leyenda, because
Uh-huh.
just for some reason, because I'm still an amateur, I'm still a beginner, but as I am practicing and I'm feeling the tone on my hands, I feel like I'm about to fight the gods and I'm about to kill them.
That's it. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
because
It feels. Yeah.
sorry, what were you going to say?
I was gonna say, like, you feel almost like a hero sometimes playing this kind of music. When you're so into it, you feel like you're saving someone, somebody, something. You feel you're playing such an important role, and that's very important to have. I think it's very important to have that fantasy. When you're practicing.
Yes.
I think it's extremely important and should stay alive. I think. Keeps things
Yes.
alive.
In particular, because as I'm playing it, I imagine sort of like the clouds parting and Odin and Thor coming down, thrashing on the horses, ready to charge. It's sort of like the ride of the Valkyries. Roar!
That's it.
Um, it's just a strange passion that one can have for music. It's sort of like with music, as you it's sort of a question, but in a way that cannot be fully understood. Like, do you know, like those moments when you've experienced something great, but you don't know how to put it in words? That is what I feel music is, on the guitar. It's a question, and then after is the answer at the end,
But
the
you know,
climax.
yes, you can't verbalize it.
Yes,
I always say that in the music of Bach, it's almost he's telling you the scenario and telling you the issue, the challenges that are coming ahead, and then he suggests some solutions, and then he reveals the ultimate solution in the end. You know, it's so true. This is the way music communicates to us, and it's all visceral. You know, it's all how do you say? It's beyond the physical. You know, it's metaphysical.
yes, it can become very easy to go on a tangent about so much about about one's love for music. It can become so gaudy, but it can overtake you at the same time. And talking about that, do you have any like favorite moments, or or maybe even embarrassing ones that you felt like a righteous supreme being, but at the other moments as well? Was there any funny, embarrassing moments that you've had on stage?
Um, Embarrassing moments, not really. You know, I'm very much um, kind of not attached. Even like I try to be with the music, but at the same time be detached from it, so I can still kind of monitor what's going on from the outside. It's weird. It's kind of like a surreal experience a little bit. Sometimes on stage, I feel I'm playing, but I actively try not to be too much into it because I want to still be aware of the surroundings
Yes.
and be able to sort of hear from the outside what I'm doing. And all it can be confusing and can make you make mistakes and all that. But
Oh,
it also can make you connect with the audience better because you are giving and you are also um, how to say, not careful, but you're also aware of what you're giving. So if you do too many things that are unnecessary, you kind of catch yourself. It's very hard to explain, but that also all happens in the moment on stage, you know, these things that I don't practice.
it's so metaphysical that it's like you are going into different perspectives.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, for me, I try not to have an absolute definite interpretation, you know, just because I want the element of not improvisation, but of freedom of interpretation on stage, you know.
Yes.
I want the audience to influence the interpretation in a way. If they were very attentive and I can feel the energy from them, the interpretation will be better. I'm sorry to say that, but yes, they do have some control
The
over
audience.
what I'm doing on stage, of course, because I cannot completely separate myself from the audience, you know, and just play the way I play normally, regardless of who's there. I never could do that. I don't know how some artists can do that. Or they,
Just merely play for yourself.
I guess I never was successful on ignoring the audience, if you may.
And
You
ignoring the
know,
audience.
even when they're noisy or anything like that, it all affects me, and I'm okay with it. Like because I'm always living in this time, this absolute moment. Now I'm playing that phrase, and I hear someone maybe gasp or they say bravo after the piece, and it pumps me for the next piece. Yeah, it does. I mean,
Oh,
maybe it's a bad thing, maybe it's not a bad thing, but that's why each concert is an interesting one, is a new experience, and is one that I learn from every time. You know, I was in a middle of a kind of like on an edge part, going to finance or music, and also going to guitar and violin. And I always, whenever I do a concert or anything in finance, I would say, okay, now how did that feel? Like, do I want to do this again? What's going on, in my body, in my mind? And every time after I do a concert, I absolutely want to do it again. Like right there, I want to do it again. And I can't look for, yeah, even before the concert. Sometimes you're like, why am I torturing myself like this? Waiting and waiting, and in the dress room, you're waiting, and they're a bit late, and you're still waiting, and you just want to go out and do it, but you have
Yes.
to wait. So it's a little bit of torture.
Yes, I understand that.
Okay, and then you ask yourself, why am I putting myself into this? And then I go on stage and I play the fiddle, and then I remember why I put myself in this. It is the utmost, most beautiful experience I ever had in my life. Being on stage, communicating with that many people, whether they're one or 1,000, doesn't matter. But there is some purity there that is unparalleled in all the other experiences that I've done in my life. I really,
It's sort of like, because I've been coming around these studies of mine, of very philosophical in nature. Have you heard of the term, from Shakespeare, life's a stage, and that what we are is just performing our true selves for the world.
of course,
Yes. And so in that way, I like to think about it as sort of like that when we're on stage, when we are performing, we are sort of like showing our true selves, and the audience is the eternal void, which is the entirety collective of the world. And it is you have to power through the nervousness and confidence to really show them who you are. And but if you get defeated by the stage fright, you are falling back and into the crowd, and you forever become one with everybody else. You will know you will forever feel scared to show who you are again.
I think stage fright is ego.
Ego.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Once you are sharing the music on stage without your, well, put your ego aside. You're bringing this composer's message through you with all your life experiences and musical language and grammar, and you're
Yeah.
translating it to them. If there's this kind of purity of transfer, there is no necessity for stage fright. The beginning, when you go on stage, there's a few minutes that there is nerves. Of course, everybody has that because you're alive. You have a heart that's beating. The first couple of minutes, you're gonna be nervous. You can't get rid of that.
Yes.
But then it's gonna dissipate. Really, maybe after the first section of the piece, or maybe some people after a full piece. For me, it's really, I play a few phrases. I feel comfortable with the guitar. That's it. It starts going away. You know.
Oh
The
yes.
communication starts. Once the communication starts for real, there's no stage fright. There's no necessity for stage fright.
Oh, very true. It's like because people are too much in their head. It's like that they're listening to the voices, but nobody is thinking that. It's just in their head.
Yes, 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 and it's also saying like when I did in university, there's a lot of classes where you play one after the other. One student after another student. We all play one piece each, and it's called like
Ah,
a class recital.
yes.
And I've seen many students like, oh man, I'm not gonna play after you. Like, forget about it. Because
Oh, it's like they feel intimidated.
yeah. But that is also ego. So when you say I am the better one in the class, that's ego for sure. But when you say I am the worst one in the class, that's also ego.
Oh yes, yes,
People
yes.
don't pay attention to that. That's also like when you compare yourself in any way, that's you're letting your ego come in between, which is unnecessary when it comes to music making. You know?
It's like you have to find a balance. A balance. You like it. Just play for the enjoyment. Just do it. Don't think.
Yes.
Don't do it.
Yes, but you also have a musical mind, which I think you should share. You know,
Yes, yes. Very
what
true.
you study and your idea, your personal relationship with the score. There's a personal relationship with the score that nobody can take from you or from me. Or you develop that personal relationship by sitting hours a day. and practicing and looking at the music and having that fantasy that we were talking about.
Oh yes,
That
yes.
nobody can take from you. And that is very important to come across, to bring on the stage, very important.
Very important indeed. Like like because from my own experience, when I'm playing the guitar, I think it's like what you tell me right now. It's the ego. I find when I'm by myself and I'm practicing, of course, I'm still a very much a beginner. When I'm doing so well, I'm like just like just beginning, just going on, just trying to flow freely with the notes. And I hear myself and I'm doing so well, but immediately I think it's because I'm still a beginner and I'm very young and I don't have much experience when it comes to playing the guitar. Um, and when I'm trying to show it to my family, I get nervous. My hand tenses up. It's like I can't perform. It's like I'm missing the chords. I'm making a lot of mistakes. I think that that's exactly what you said.
Yes. Yes, because you get in your head and maybe you are not so experienced to what works and what doesn't, because that's also very important.
Very
From the
yes,
cover to the strings, to the nail shape, to the position, to the chair, to,
yes.
to the buffing thing.
I still have a long ways to go.
Everything is important, you know.
Yes,
Also, at the same time, all of it is not important, because when you
yes,
when you get when you get the right combination of the guitar, your position, your nails, then you notice how much you don't need to think about them. They're almost like unimportant at all, but they are the ones that brought you to that kind of thinking. And that kind of thinking is what make you relaxed on stage and to play for people, because you have the trust that everything
yes.
is working from experience.
From experience.
Yeah, of course.
Hmm.
So it's the trust in your guitar, the trust in your fingers, the trust in your nails, the trust in your position. All this extremely important. This is what makes you seemingly play effortlessly on stage.
Oh, that is some wise words, and that I'll have to carry that with me anytime when I touch this beautiful guitar.
Yeah, I learned it the hard way.
I was like, "Ah, bah, bah, bah." And like I even learned the hard way as well that I end up damaging or thrashing my fingers trying to press on each of the strings.
Yeah, yeah, but now you've already developed calluses. I should
Yes,
tell you
calluses. I have calluses.
that's necessary for playing.
Calluses. But just talking about like all of this about inspiration and about like trusting that things will go well through experience. Do you have any advice for those people who feel quite intimidated, maybe to pick up an instrument, or maybe in particularly the guitar? Because some people they immediately put it off when they find it too hard, and they find trouble trying to maintain a practice. Do you have any advice even for me and maybe our future guitarists are there?
It's true. I mean, it's such a elusive topic. The inspiration. Does it come always? Is it always there? Do I have to wait for it to practice? How can I make sure it's always there? The answer that is that it's not always there, and it's not in your control. You can do things that can bring inspiration, like to walk on the mountain, go see some nice landscapes, or meet some friends, or go out somewhere. Now this is all. That's why many artists are not doing very well nowadays with the whole pandemic thing. Because the inspiration is almost not there at all.
Use the pandemic as inspiration.
Could be. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now all this online things is coming up. That is inspiring, of course.
Yes.
Seeing that, being with all two. But going back on the topic of inspiration, what can you do for the guitar? I think it's important to, even as a beginner, to seek the right information. Because you can really get lost with what's all the information out there, and it can be misleading. So keep in mind that every method book out there is written according to the author. So the author that wrote the book, this method works for them. It doesn't mean that it works for you. So
Oh,
the person that is reading that book should know that, and should gather as much information as they can in the beginning, and also gather information that is malleable. Information that is sort of universal. So
Oh,
we all
wow.
have hands. We all have a middle finger that's the longest. We all have the dominating thumb, right?
Yes.
We all sitting down when we're playing. So there's these general rules. Those need to be absolutely set in stone in a way. You need to get that information from the best players if you can.
Oh, that is truly.
Good information from the people who are doing it now. Who are touring, who are playing for people, who are teaching, who are organize. If you're interested in organizing festivals, who are organizing festivals. So really, from people who are doing it, you need to get the information from, if you can. I mean, that's the best case scenario.
What a beautiful answer. For everyone who's watching right now, there's a little surprise at the end that I asked Tariq himself if he could do for us. But just as a final question, because we talked about a little bit about your philosophy and a little bit about inspiration and little tidbits to help the guitar players out there. But you were talking to me about this thing about on the head of the guitar. Can you give me like your analysis on the guitar, like on the make of the guitar, maybe a little bit of the history of the guitar as a sort of a last question leading to our surprise at the end?
The always an instrumental making, like violin, cello, guitar. The headstock or the scroll of the violin is the signature of the maker.
The signature of the maker.
Yeah. The guitar has many other signatures, like the rosette. Like this rosette is also a signature of the maker. Many makers have only one rosette, and they stick to only one rosette, which really says it is that maker.
Sort of as a legacy.
Guitar is if it's a made by a company, or if it's made by a luthier, then it will be a unique piece. This one should be handmade. And also, this is a unique feature. The curvature here is unique to the maker. Some makers, like your guitar, and this one too, actually, have almost like a tribute to the great makers of the past. So this one is more like a Ramirez.
Ramirez.
The one that you have.
Oh.
Jose Ramirez. Yeah.
Jose Ramirez.
Jose Ramirez, yeah.
Oh, wow.
He did the headstock kind of like yours. I don't know what your guitar make is, but I'm telling you, it's probably an inspiration from Ramirez, because this is really a typical. It's not exactly like the Ramirez, but this kind of point there and the two little slashes here that you have.
Yes.
Yeah,
oh, here, yes.
No, yes, exactly. Those are typical Ramirez headstock.
Oh my goodness.
This one like this, with this kind of half moon and a small one like this, typical of a Hauser.
Of a Hauser.
Wow. German maker, yeah. So Douglas Scott, the maker from Canada, I'm guessing it's kind of like a tribute to Hauser a little bit. It's not exactly like the Hauser. Again, it's a bit of his own touch too. But this is very interesting. Other things that could be signature is the bridge here, but this one is, I mean, each maker does it and each guitar is different. I would say really the rosette and the headstock are the ones that to look for.
Wow, my goodness.
Now,
okay.
Yeah.
No. Spread it off. Oh, Tariq, spread it off. Tell me everything.
No, but you see, the modern guitars can have little openings like this.
Oh.
So this one has a little.
Is it for sound?
Yeah, so you can hear it the way I can hear it the way you're hearing it.
Oh. Wow.
And the elevated fingerboard. You see the fingerboard, how it's elevated here?
Yes.
Makes it easier to get to the notes up here,
Oh, okay.
Much easier. And this now the sound. I'm hearing it now. If I do this, and then I close it. For you, there's no difference.
It's a sort of a difference. I can hear it. Yes,
And
I am. Yes,
reflections, yeah,
sort of higher, so sort of a little bit higher.
a little bit higher, yeah, a little bit more fuller. I mean, I can tell it's for me. I can tell it's more like a 3D sound, you know.
Oh wow. All right. Well, everyone. I was sort of that I asked Tariq if he could do for us, if he could play. Here's something, Tariq. I have a request, but I have a request, but I would love it if you could play us a piece from your own selection, and then after that, if I could request, if you could play something that I have, if you could play the Asturias Leyenda, if you know that.
Ah, I haven't warmed up for that story yet, but maybe we'll take it a little slower.
Oh,
What?
to take your time. If you want to play a piece that you know,
I
you may play that one.
I play you a piece of mine.
A piece of yours. Perfect.
I play you a piece of mine called Motherland.
Perfect.
Tribute to my hometown.
Oh, I would love that. A tribute, that'd be lovely.
So this is based on a Fallahi rhythm, which goes more or less like this. Right? So that's a very famous rhythm in Arabic music.
Oh, wow.
So I use that as the main rhythmic feature here.
No, trust me, that is very beautiful. I love, yeah, those sorts of music like that.
I'll see how it goes. This is a movement from a 5-movement suite. So if people are interested, they can listen to the whole thing, and then this one will make more sense.
5 minutes sweet. Just to be clear, what was that piece called again?
It's called Motherland.
Motherland.
Motherland. Yeah, and it's from a suite that I composed called Spirit.
So this is of your own making.
Yes.
Oh, Motherland. Okay. So okay, that'd be a thing. But okay.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
No, I'm taken back. I'm taken back. Trust me, I have such a long way if I want to reach your level, my friend. But I just have to practice.
Have to practice again. Seek the right information. Always play repertoire that you love. Also challenge yourself to play repertoire that you don't know very well, because you're going to learn from it so much. Like modern music, like even some repertoire that you see in competitions sometimes. It's good for the players because they're forced to learn it and translate it to the people, make sense out of it. It's a challenge. It's a mental challenge.
Oh, well, you are my inspiration, Tariq. I'm gonna carry your words in the future now.
Okay, thank you so much.
Trust me, you're in here now. And Islam, if you don't mind, do you know the Malagueña?
There are many Malagueñas. I don't know. I've played one long time ago by Albanians, but I don't know it now. I don't have it now in my mind. There's one that's also a famous one that I'm not sure it is by who, but I think that's the one that you're referring to.
Yeah, the Spanish one. If I could maybe show you. Yes.
I don't know it. I don't know how it goes.
You don't know it.
It's just the theme. Now I was like just reciting the notes in my mind.
Okay. So just like you don't know Malagueña, but do you know Asturias Leyenda?
I do know Asturias Leyenda.
Could you play us a little ditty of that, if you can?
Sure. Yeah. I can continue, but
No, Tariq. If you can continue, and trust me, if you want to continue, you can continue. I would love that so much if you can. If you feel like,
I think that's good for today. I need to warm up a little bit.
Oh, okay, all right then. Okay, I understand completely then. All right, but
I hope you enjoyed this little tidbit of it.
No. I enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure.
Oh,
Thank you for taking the time to do this.
Yes, no, it was my pleasure to have you. It's an honor, truly, to have to a master and now an inspiration for me in my presence.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Brandon. I really
Thank you.
appreciate your words, and I'm so happy to see that you're so passionate about this art form,
Trust me,
and
I
want
am.
to help bring the new generation, interested with what you're doing. So this is very much appreciated from you, of course.
Oh, I I'm humble myself to you. Thank you so much, and thank you for those kind words to me as well.
Pleasure, Brandon.
And so, just as a thing, if where can people find you on your social medias?
Now, if they like Facebook, they can go Tariq Harb, TARIQ HARB, just facebook.com/Tariq Harb, and you'll find it. Instagram, it's the same thing, Instagram.com/Tariq Harb Music. So it's all like one word.
Do you have a YouTube channel?
I have a YouTube channel as well. So youtube.com/T Harb. I did it when I was messing around with my friends when I was younger. So I put my nickname T.
T Hard.
Yeah,
Ah,
Harb.
T
Yeah, T.
Arb.
Yeah, TEE and my family name Harb.
Oh, okay, okay.
Search
Well,
You can search my name on YouTube. You'll see. I have many videos there, so you'll surely be directed to my channel once you find the video.
oh, sure. And as well, I will find those links, and they will be in the description as well for that people can find them.
That's great. Thank you so much. Yeah, I hope people enjoy the videos. I try to upload as much as possible on YouTube. That's where I have the full pieces. And Instagram, Facebook is just me practicing a little excerpt from this piece. Just little things here and there. So I
Oh,
hope people enjoy the content.
well, I surely have enjoyed it, and I hope everybody who has listened to this enjoyed Tarak's performance here. It was one that hit me right in the spirit.
Yeah, you can check my piece Spirit. It's pertinent to the subject.
Yes, spirit. All right then. So I am until next time, everyone. This has been Tarak on Earth Chats. I hope all of you enjoyed today's interview, and I'll see you next time, everyone. Tarak, you say goodbye to everyone.
Thank you. Bye. Take care, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
Take care, you guys.